Do you have a little money left over in your budget and you're thinking to yourself, should I save money versus pay off debt? I'm an accredited financial counselor with 10 years experience. And if you had asked me before the pandemic, you would have gotten a completely different answer than I would give nowadays. So stick around and I'll explain that to you next. Hey y'all, welcome to my channel, Health and Wealth Chica. I'm Jeremy, an accredited financial counselor with 10 years experience. Subscribe to my channel if you want to learn how to overcome financial challenges and optimize financial opportunities as they arise. Get motivated to do the things you know you've been needing to do, but just didn't know how. And get confident to put proven and powerful money strategies to work for you. Because I teach people how to manage their money like a boss to live their best life. First of all, congratulations. You have a little money left over in your budget and you're looking at your options. Saving money versus paying off debt. Now, if you would have asked me before the pandemic, you would have had a different answer from me. So to be fair, I want to briefly explain that first before I move on and tell you my answer nowadays. So before the pandemic, as my brand implies, health and wealth, Chica, I don't separate your financial well-being or your wealth from your overall health, which could include your mental health, your physical, spiritual, emotional health. And so I like to practice well-balanced financial strategies. So you would have heard me say something like, John, Jane, you could be doing both. You don't have to do an all or nothing, meaning you don't have to just save or just pay down debt. It usually makes sense to do both at the same time. Now, of course, I would have a sit down with you and look at your particulars to look at how much interest you're paying on each debt that you have, see how much, if any, savings you have so far, to make the determination on what you should prioritize, even though you're attacking both goals at the same time. One would be prioritized just a little bit more than the other, depending on all the different variables. And you might be surprised at that answer. The reason is because there's a lot of financial information and advice out there that is a little more all or nothing. And I don't believe in absolutes. Whenever you hear things like, you should never save any money until your debt is completely paid off, or you should always pay off every single penny of debt you have before you save any money, that's what I mean by absolutes. When you hear that, in general, it doesn't usually work. Why? Because we are all individuals. So we all have our individual unique needs, wants, goals, our values. So when you hear a cookie cutter, one size fits all suggestion, it usually is not going to work for most people. Ask me nowadays, should you save or pay off debt if you have a little extra money left over in your budget? I'm curious, what do you think you should do without me giving you my professional answer yet? Look at the card above, it'll drop down above my head, and click on it so you can see the options. It's A, save first, B, pay off debt first, or C, both at the same time. If you didn't see that drop down just now, then you're probably on a mobile phone, and that's okay. I still want you to interact with me. Put it in the comments below what your answer is. A, save first, B, pay off debt first, or C, do some of both. Okay, so what do I say about this now that we're in a pandemic? I'm still not going to give you an absolute one size cookie cutter fits all answer. However, I do want to say that if you don't already have at least 3 months worth of your essential living expenses, meaning expenses for housing, food, transportation, your insurances. And what I mean by that is if you are driving to and from work, you need that car insurance, right? So your minimal essential living expenses, if you don't have at least 3 months worth of that saved up in a savings account, then I am going to say the best approach is to go ahead and any money you have left over at the end of the month from your budget, apply it towards building your savings up to get it to that 3-month level. And the reason, I always like to give the reason behind everything so you can see if it makes sense for you, is that when you have debt, there are so many ways you can deal with debt. I used to personally work at a huge credit card company in their corporate office as customer service. And so I know that creditors have plenty of repayment options available to you. However, they don't advertise those, okay? So you really need to reach out and talk to those creditors and see what kind of payment arrangements they can make with you. So you'll find that there's plenty of different payment arrangements your creditors can make with you when you fall on hard times. And the same is not true for when you have to go to the grocery store and buy groceries. Have you ever heard of Safeway saying, oh, you can't buy your food this month? We'll go ahead and make a payment arrangement with you for that. Or here in the state of Texas, we have H-E-B's. That's our main grocery chain here. You can't go into H-E-B and try to buy groceries and make a deal with the store that you could just buy groceries on a payment plan. See, that does not exist, but it does exist with the creditors that you're dealing with, even your car lenders. So that's why I say prioritize your savings account until you have at least 3 months worth of living expenses in there. So should you have a reduction in hours at work or be laid off completely, furloughed, etc., then you have that money that you can rely on and it'll keep you afloat, right? Until you find another job or another source of income and figure out what the next move is for you and your family. Whereas when you have debt and you fall on hard times, it's as simple as making a phone call and talking to that creditor and telling them, be honest, tell them about your situation so that they can learn about what you're going through, and then they can offer you the different payment arrangement plans that they have available. Now, every company that you call is going to be a little bit different based on the company's policies and such. So be patient, be honest, keep notes of who you're calling, who you talk to, what time, date. You know, it's better if you have any kind of arrangement firm in writing by maybe an email that they can send you verifying what you all had talked about, because during hard times, it's much easier to deal with debt. And right now, because of the pandemic, even if you have a job currently, right, we don't know how long this is going to last and if we will have, me included, right, have a job tomorrow. And so we need to be smart about our strategies with our finances. And so we have to pivot a little bit from the way we would do it if we weren't in the middle of a pandemic. So there you have it. I would usually say do both, and then we would prioritize. But during a pandemic, if you don't have at least 3 months of living expenses saved up in your savings account, so you can be preparing yourself for anything that can happen and stay afloat, then I would prioritize 100% your savings. Rather see you do is make minimum payments on your credit cards. Okay, and so you do that until the future starts to get a little more clear about how long this is going to last. Now, if you can continue to make those minimum payments, do that. But don't put any extra towards paying down your debt if you don't have a nice savings account that you can rely on to help you through whatever the future might hold for us. Continue making the minimums, and then every last dollar that you have left over, stash it away into that savings account. If you currently are not able to make not even the minimum payments, that's when you can start reaching out to the creditors and start having those honest conversations. So just because I said that you should only pay your minimum payments on your debts right now during this pandemic so that you can free up money to apply more towards your savings account to beef that up, is not to say that you can't be strategic in repaying back your debts. So I'm going to put a link in the bottom of the descriptions to a tool that you can use. It's totally free. And I will be making another video as well to teach you how to use it if you're finding it's a little difficult to use by yourself. So remember to subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you know when my next video's out. Because I will teach you how to manage your money like a boss to live your best life. Until next time, health and wealth be with you.